My name is Silas. My family's lived here in Appalachia for over 100 years. If you give me a few minutes of your time, I'll tell you a story that has haunted the residents of Appalachia for over a century. I always heard stories that the buildings downtown had strange happenings in them late at night. I always thought it was people's imaginations getting the best of them, until one day I made a joke in front of my great-grandmother, Ola Bell. Granny Ola was the sweetest mountain woman you've ever met. But when I made that joke, a look came over her face that I'd never seen before. Fear and anger twisted into one. "Granny," I said, "what's the matter? It was just a joke." "Sit down, boy," she said, "and let me tell you about what you think is a joke." And that's when Granny told me about the miners that everybody believed had been buried alive right under Main Street. That's when she told me the story of her father, Ira, who moved here to work for a small company called the Appalachia Mine. He thought it would be better than scratching away on a farm, living off pennies. What he thought would be a dream turned out to be a nightmare. Ira had been working in the mine for a few years when a man came around talking about joining a union. Ira was full of hope of the promises that he'd been made and the benefits that the union would provide. He went around telling all of his buddies about it and encouraging them to join up. A few months later, the foreman came around and asked Ira and a few other miners if they could work on a Saturday. His family needed the money, so he agreed. What he didn't realize was every other miner who'd been asked had also recently joined the union. Down into the mine they went, working like always. A few hours later, there was an explosion behind them which sealed the exit, leaving them in darkness. They were trapped. The families were never able to get answers from the company on how it could have happened, and the miners' bodies were never returned to their families. Some folks my granny's age still believe that if you go by the old newsstand at night, you can still hear it. The scratching of picks and shovels, and the screaming of the miners trying to escape their deep, dark tomb. Some folks believe that the miners, blinded by eternal darkness, can't tell the difference between average folks and the company men who caused their death. There have been many strange accidents on Main Street over the years that are unexplainable, and I never fully put it together until Granny told me this story. I don't know whether it's really haunted or not, but what I do know is, if you try and tempt fate, don't say that me and Granny Ola Bell didn't warn you about the ghosts of Appalachia.